Potato is looking for bunny rabbit poop. It's his favorite nighttime treat. Right here. Wanted to be able to be more sensitive. I really felt like in that hustle of the city, I had to dumb everything down just because of the overstimulation, and I just couldn't allow myself the sensitivity that I knew I had the capacity for. Hey guys, it's Katie Kate on the Homestead. Another beautiful winter day here in the country. We're in some pretty deep snow. It's falling really lightly. It's not super cold. Absolutely beautiful day in January here in Ontario, Canada. You know what I love most about my new life in the country? Not doing what I was doing before. There's a certain tedium to sustainability where a lot of my time gets taken up just getting things done in order to have a good day, feeding the fire, preserving food, things like that. It's a lifestyle, that's for sure. If ever the monotony gets to me, I just remind myself how lucky I am to have time. To have the time to get up and make a nice breakfast. Time to pack a nice lunch for my kid at school. Time I would have given anything to have 10 years ago. I'm always grateful for this fresh air as well. One of the last times I drove into the city, I described the experience as it smelling like garbage, death, and ass. It smells really good out here, like frozen candy canes or mint. It's the simple things that create a beautiful, fulfilling life. I'll get to those birds in a second. Let's go see these guys first. Good morning, guys. Chores can be tedious, but it's also a really nice routine with immediate gratification when I'm warming up the house or feeding the animals. It's pretty satisfying. Speaking of which, I have to get some firewood inside. I respect the hustle, I really do. Before I moved to this beautiful piece of paradise, I lived in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, a very big city and a very expensive city. I was a single mom with 2 kids and a mortgage and lots of bills to pay, and I was deep in the hustle. I often said back then, don't live in a city like Toronto if you aren't prepared for that lifestyle. That's just what it takes to live there, in my opinion and in my experience. For me, the entire time I knew that the real estate that I had there was valuable and that someday I would be able to transform it into something else. A big city can be a really good place to make money. There's a lot of money in the big city, and I worked really hard to make a share that would afford me a lifestyle that I dreamt about. Having time was really all I ever wanted, and I can enjoy the tedium and the monotony of the homestead. It's not hard when it's this beautiful. And there is something very simple and grounding and rewarding about the routine and the pace of life. It's nice to have the opportunity to move a bit slower. I know for me, I went overboard in my 40s, mostly due to necessity. You know, every time I wanted to take my kids on vacation, I just worked more hours. And I've talked about this before, working 28 days straight without a break and bragging about it. Now that I look back, I kind of see all those extra days and extra hours as time I was banking so I could get out a little earlier than I thought I would. I honestly thought that I would be 55 before I was in a position to do this, and I got out at 50. So I do credit all that extra work I invested in my 40s. The other thing that I was careful not to do was have any debt. Once I recovered from the financial crisis of my divorce court, I never got in debt again once I cleared that. I also never leveraged any money from my house, even as it was slowly, steadily appreciating in value over those 10 years. I think those kind of decisions, coupled with the hard work that I did, was what got me here this early anyway. All right, well, blather. Honestly, I'm just not ready to go inside yet, and I don't really have anything else to do. So on with the chores. I'm going to feed the dogs and check on the chickens and probably just tidy up the house and keep the ship afloat. I would never complain about how tedious it is. I went in and just came right back out again. It's just too beautiful to be inside. Something that I think is important to do being here is to stay sensitive and tuned in to all of this natural beauty and wonder. From the beautiful, clean, fragrant smell of the air to the quiet sounds, the visual beauty. It's something that I appreciate every day. I was thinking about it the other day, and something that I remember discussing with my clients as I was trying to make this change was being sensitive. And I kept telling them how I wanted to be able to be more sensitive. I really felt like in that hustle of the city, I had to dumb everything down just because of the overstimulation, and I just couldn't allow myself the sensitivity that I knew I had the capacity for. So that's something that I think about as I'm here enjoying this sensory experience and feeling my nervous system just regulate, just smooth out and come down to a healthier pace. So I respect the grind and I see its appeal. You know, you work hard and hustle like that, you can bank, you can make a lot of money. I guess then the question is, when do you have enough money? I am certainly surprised that of all the people that I know my age, I'm the only one who's checked out this early. Fortunately for me, I had an end game and I had put a quantitative figure on the goal at which point I would make this move. And I'm really glad that when I hit that goal, I pulled the plug. I didn't hesitate. I knew that I wanted to be here. Of course, being of the mindset that it would have been another 5 years before I was able to do this, I obviously thought my kids would be gone. And as it turned out, I still ended up having one at home. And although that made the decision a little bit more complicated, I'm the grown-up and I made that decision for us. I certainly hope that my son will look back and appreciate having this experience, having both experiences really, an experience living in the city and this experience living in the country. Let's check on the dingbats. Everybody's good. I guess I have to go back inside. I can smell my fires, which means they're smoldering. Could probably use to be stoked up a bit. What a gorgeous winter day. It is absolutely stunning. I think maybe I'll do some baking today. Get some chocolate chip cookies in the oven. Maybe an apple pie for when my kid comes home, because I have the time. I've also already been working on my garden, so I'll show you that when it gets a little bit farther along. It's still a little too early to share, but I've got some sprouts. I've got some pet supplies to bring inside. Until next time, I hope you are all doing well, staying safe, staying kind, and hopefully enjoying some of this beautiful winter weather. I'm Katie Kate on the Homestead. I'll see you later.